Today on the agenda, the future of Alfa Romeo is finally becoming clear. And no, not everything will be electric. The Leapmotor B05 announces its European pricing and could crush the competition. Xiaomi is releasing a monstrous SUV with 1,000 horsepower, and a study says the brand new car you buy today could end up in the junkyard in 10 years. Let's talk about the future of Alfa Romeo, that brand that keeps promising us the moon, delivers us a rock, but a rock so beautiful that we end up buying it anyway. A few years ago, Alfa Romeo, in a burst of ecological purity, probably inspired by too much Chianti, swore up and down that its future would be 100% electric. Say goodbye to the sweet sound of the V6 and hello to the whine of a Dyson vacuum cleaner on wheels. The upcoming Giulia and Stelvio models planned for this year were supposed to be the spearheads of this silent revolution. But then in a dramatic twist, Alfa's big boss, Santofi Chili, recently looked at the electric car sales numbers, probably spit out his espresso and declared, I quote, "The world is not ready everywhere for electric cars." As a result, a complete 180-degree turn. The new Giulia and Stelvio have been pushed back to 2027 or even 2028 to give them time to rethink everything. The STLA large platform, originally designed for batteries, now has to be modified to accommodate good old combustion engines. They need to open up the grills, let the engine breathe, and above all, save what they can. But be careful, don't think that Alfa Romeo is dying. Far from it. In 2025, the brand recorded global growth of over 20%, with 73,000 units sold. The little junior SUV, which is selling like hotcakes on a Sunday morning, has recorded over 60,000 orders on its own. Alfa Romeo is breathing, Alfa Romeo is alive, and Alfa Romeo is preparing a masterstroke. Because while the engineers are tearing their hair out, trying to fit combustion engines in electric chassis designed for the future Giulia and Stelvio, a persistent rumor is growing around the Melfi plant in Italy. Stellantis, the parent company, has announced a new mystery model for this factory, a model that would fit between the Tonale and the future Stelvio, an SUV, obviously, because that's what people are buying today. This project, known by the codename A4U, was initially supposed to replace the Tonale, but with the delay of the bigger siblings, it has been moved up to 2026 to fill the gap. And the best part, in all this, the best part is that it could bring back a legendary name, Brera. It will be built on the Estella Medium platform, shared with Peugeot and DS, and will offer both hybrid and electric versions. And for the purists, those who still have oil in their veins, the Quadrifoglio versions are not dead. They will come back stronger than ever. We're talking about an electric version capable of doing 0 to 100 in 2 seconds, with power close to 1,000 horsepower. But above all, the 2.9-liter twin-turbo V6, recently updated to meet Euro 7 standards, should keep roaring under the hood. And if that's not enough, Alfa is even considering the 550 horsepower inline-6 from the Dodge Charger. In summary, by 2028, the Alfa lineup could look like this: the restyled Junior at the bottom of the range, the Brera in the middle, and the Giulia and Stelvio at the top, available as hybrids, electric, or fully gasoline-powered. As for the Giulietta, for now, nothing has been announced, but it wouldn't be too surprising to learn that it could become fully electric based on the Leapmotor B05, though that's just speculation. Speaking of which, for example, let's talk about the Leapmotor B05. It's finally arriving here, and at a price we never thought we'd be able to announce. So the B05 is a compact car that's 4.43 meters long, about the size of a Golf or a 308, except where the Peugeot i308 asks for a crazy price. Starting at 42,600 euros for just 156 measly horsepower, the Leapmotor B05 arrives with prices that are likely to literally crush the competition in Europe. For now, the French prices haven't been revealed yet, but in Italy it starts at 26,000 euros. In Spain it even goes below the 24,000 euro mark. And in France, without the famous EV incentive, it should also be around 25,000 euros. But the worst part for the competition is that this B05 is not a punishment to drive. It's built on an architecture where the battery is an integral part of the chassis. It delivers 218 horsepower to the rear wheels. Yes, you heard right, it's rear-wheel drive. With a 67 kW battery, it promises nearly 480 kilometers of range and charges from 30% to 80% in 17 minutes. Inside, there's an almost 15-inch central screen, heated seats, and every imaginable driver assistance feature. And if you thought Leapmotor was going to stop there, think again, because they've decided to take on a sacred monument, the Golf GTI. At the recent Beijing Motor Show, they unveiled the B05 Ultra, a steroid-enhanced version that's lowered, widened with a rear wing, an aggressive front bumper, and 19-inch wheels fitted with high-performance tires. The engine has been pushed to 200 kilometers. It goes from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in just 5.9 seconds. The weight distribution is 50-50, and the weight is kept at 1,665 kg, which is almost a miracle for an electric car. For now, this Ultra version is reserved for China, where it is sold for the equivalent of 17,000 euros. But with the brand's fierce appetite in Europe, it's a safe bet that this little rocket will eventually arrive here for less than 40,000 euros. In summary, the Leapmotor B05 is not just a new electric car, it's a warning shot sent to the entire European automotive industry. It's big, it's well-equipped, it's powerful, and it costs the same as an entry-level city car. And with its Ultra version, it wants to prove that it can even be fun. Next, Xiaomi is still picking up speed and will be arriving in Europe very soon. In 2025, the brand delivered more than 400,000 cars. And as if that wasn't enough, they just unveiled their new toy at the Beijing Auto Show, the YQ7 GT, a family SUV. Well, family is a bit of a stretch, because under its aggressive bodywork, with its widened wheel arches, dramatic rear diffuser, and its badge made of carbon fiber and 24-karat gold, because why not? There's a real beast hiding. Xiaomi put a 386 horsepower motor up front and another 604 horsepower motor in the rear. Do the math, that's 990 horsepower in an SUV. To put things in perspective, the Porsche Macan Turbo Electric, which costs as much as a small apartment, tops out at 630 horsepower. With a top speed of 300 km/h and 0 to 100 km/h in just over 2 seconds, this monster is equipped with air suspension, a rear torque vectoring system, and even optional Brembo carbon ceramic brakes. And the price, well, we're talking about around 65,000 euros. Xiaomi's true genius isn't just producing affordable ground-to-ground missiles, but their invasion strategy. Xiaomi has just planted its flag right in the heart of Bavaria. They opened a research and development center in Munich, and guess who they hired to run it? Rudolf Dietrich and Klaus-Dieter Grohl, two former big shots from BMW who spent years developing motorsport engines. Their mission? To prepare the ground for Xiaomi's European launch in 2027. The YQ7 GT will actually be the first model to benefit from the expertise of this new European center. Xiaomi isn't just coming to sell cars, they're coming to prove that they can design chassis and driving dynamics capable of competing with the best German sports cars on their own turf. In summary, Xiaomi has money and technology. Now they have European engineers and they have cars that make the competition look like horse-drawn carriages. Xiaomi is coming at 300 km/h and they really have no intention of slowing down. And finally, welcome to the era of planned electronic obsolescence. For the past few years, car manufacturers have decided to turn our interiors into movie screens. But there's one detail the dealer forgot to mention. These screens have an expiration date, and they could very well make your car completely unsellable. According to experts from DEKRA, the average lifespan of an LCD screen in a car is 10 to 12 years. And the problem isn't just that you won't be able to listen to your Spotify playlist anymore. The problem is that without this screen, your car becomes a 2-ton useless object. No more heating, no more safety settings, and often no idea how fast you're driving anymore. And that's when the trap snaps shut with the sound of a cash register. Imagine, it's 2012. Your SUV that you bought for 35,000 euros is now worth only $5,000 on the used market. Suddenly, the screen goes black, you go to the garage, and the mechanic, who now looks like a Silicon Valley IT guy, gives you the bad news. A complete digital instrument cluster costs between 2,500 and 4,500 euros, according to some North American studies. Do the math. The repair represents 80% of your car's value. Congratulations, your vehicle is therefore uneconomical to repair. Off to the scrapyard, not because the engine is dead, not because the chassis is rusted, but because a 2-cent chip burned out behind a touchscreen. And if you think you can find a used part, think again. Chinese suppliers, like CD Tech, are already sounding the alarm. Stocks of older generation screens are running out at an incredible rate. If your car's screen fails, sometimes the replacement part simply isn't made anymore. In short, we've turned our means of transportation into giant disposable smartphones on wheels. And while electric cars may be clean when they're running, if their lifespan is only 10 years because of the electronics, they suddenly become much less environmentally friendly. Thank you all for watching this new video. Feel free to subscribe and turn on the notification bell to make sure you don't miss anything. Bye.